Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the M53 M55, the Tier 9 American SPG. This one's located on the south spawn of Prokhorovka, and it's under the command of CL1CKER, and it's a game he streamed a few days ago. Well, he backed up to try to get to the back of the map, but unfortunately there was a few tanks coming forward at that moment. Okay, he's got the 8-inch howitzer, which is actually 203.2 millimeters, not just 203, but it's capable of 900 alpha, penetrating 52 millimeters of armor, and it's got a burst radius of 10.5 meters. It also has a turret which can turn 30 degrees either side of the center line, which means that it's got a very wide arc indeed. You can see that straight away. In fact, he's very close to the first enemy, which is a Kranbon. 33 hit points from his first shot. Okay, good reposition. Now, this Arty was designed and prototyped in 1952, so it's a post-war design, but they did actually build them between 1952 and 1960, and that's when they were in service. And they did see action in both Vietnam and in Taiwan. Direct hit on another Kranbon, 367 this time. Now, it's believed that they are actually still in the service of the Republic of China, who actually do tend to keep a lot of their weapons in good condition for considerably longer. And so, yes, we might actually still have a few M55s or M53s. Rounds out the Kranbon. Another direct hit, 366 hit points from that one. Now, you may notice something weird. I've never mentioned it before, but you may notice that the M55/M53 does actually have a rope wheel missing, or rather, not a rope wheel, it's missing the idler. The idea behind that is when they turn the tank around and they put the drive sprocket at the front, they needed some way to distribute the suspension weight. Oh, he hit two there! He hit the Kranbon and the Progetto. Yes, they needed some way to actually distribute the weight, and the easiest way to do that was to actually remove the idler at the rear. As you can see there, the sprockets at the front, and the idler normally is at the rear next to the hull, at the top of the hull, but what they did is they took it away, which means more of the weight is actually being distributed to the ground. Standard reload for this Arty, 40.27 seconds. He's got a reload of 32.42, so he has saved himself 8 seconds. Rounds out the E5. Well, it landed a long way short, and we've now got enemy tanks down into the dip, into that little lake. And some of the other players are indicating that we should go for the Progetto 66. And the problem with that tank is if he decides to try and get around the back of our guys, he could cause lots of problems, which might lead the enemy on the top of the hill to actually go over the top and catch them from behind. Okay, we've just spotted another enemy tank. It's the E5. It just looks like he might have got hit by the other M53, M55 on our team. Looking at that Progetto, rounds out. Well, he did get a critical hit, so he got a direct hit for 325. But that enemy appears to be getting closer. 1,768 hit points of damage so far, but very little in the way of stun assist or damage assist. They're indicating that Progetto, difficult to spot him because our guys are above him, and there's an overhang over the top. Unless you go down into the dip, you won't spot him. Only 53 hit points on the E5, but we did get some stun assists, so that was worthwhile. In fact, he's gone down altogether, so we picked up 1,140 hit points of stun assists from that shot alone, even though it only yielded 53 hit points of damage. Now it looks a bit of a problem now because the enemy is still there up on top of the hill. They've got a cram bomb with virtually no hit points. He would make a very easy kill. And he's out the game. That's taken the gun out. But yes, I can see now one of the Wizzies is pulling back. And that indicates to me that they're uncertain about their ability to maintain the hill. The Wizzy 132A is retreating. And we've got another enemy tanker, Lance and C, in the village. Now, they've got fairly thin armor, so if you put a shell right on top of that guy, he should suffer and possibly take a penetrating shot. Rounds out. Oh, he did get him. He got him all right. Yeah, that shell must have gone right through his armor. But we need to move now because the enemy is coming down the hill and, well, they've come down through the lake. Well, we're moving, but our teammate in the other M53, M55 is not moving away, and there's a Barras coming up to the railway line. Oh, at last he started moving, so he needs to get into the tree line. Okay, we're going for the Prokhorovka 66, the one that was down in the dip. Line up, rounds out. Oh, we did take a direct hit for 402, but we're turning around to retreat, get into the tree line over here. And our Conway just took a big hit from somebody further north. So it looks to me like he's trying to place himself behind the Rex. I'm sure if he's wondered what's going on. The Barask that was up at the railway line, the enemy Barask, has been taken out. So we don't have to worry about him. But we do have to worry about this guy, the CS53, who's coming up to the railway line. And we still don't know where that Progetto is. Rounds out. Well, that appeared to miss that one altogether. And the enemy is now at the railway line, so we could get spotted. And we are retreating back to the tree line. You can see our Lancer C's right up on the side of the map, far west side. Now he's right up against the back of the map here. You can see our fellow M53, M55's decided to pick the same spot. And that could be dangerous, because if one gets spotted, then both might. We're only one tank up on the enemy at the moment. The Bisante's stopping the enemy from crossing the line, and the Barask is backing him up behind. And now we've got a Crambarn up at the centre line. Now, I think that's one that we may have fired at before. Well, if it wasn't, then he's lost 392. So it's a good game so far. And I did say, actually, I did see or catch the end of this battle whilst CL1CKER was on live stream. As you may know, I have two computers on my desk which are operating when I'm normally working. And so it means that I do actually have streamers online, some of the Arty streamers. So I get to see their play whilst I'm actually working. Okay, so there's the Skoda. Now he's gone down a little further, so he's not likely to look over the railway line just there. He's much more likely to turn around and go back. It looks like that's what he's doing, but... Cranvarn rounds out again, and another direct hit, but he fired one back. So yes, unfortunately, we've already lost the other Arty as well. So I'm wondering what happened there. Did the guy actually look to try and shoot back down the line of the shell that hit him? I think so. It certainly looks so. The shell actually hit the engine deck areas. So yes, it very much looks like they looked back on the reciprocal line of track and fired around straight back on that line. And yes, unfortunately, CL1CKER got hit. He's virtually wiped out. He took a round for 425 hit points from the Cranbarn. But luckily, it was only one round, only one 120mm round. And now he's placed that wreck between him and the Cranbarn. It's going to be a little more difficult for that Cranbarn to get a direct hit. You can see the round that actually hit him was a heat round as well. A bit of an overkill because the armor on the M53, M55 is very, very thin actually. According to the manuals, it's actually only 20mm thick, but according to the wiki and the Tanks GG, it's 25.4mm at the front of the hull and 12.7mm all around the rest of the hull, with only 20mm for track armor. But the armor I know is supposed to be only 20mm, and that's supposed to stop bullets and shell splinters, but nothing else. And he's hugging that M53 because he knows that if that guy fires a reciprocal shot, it's going to hit the wreck. Going for the Tiger 2. Changes his mind, goes back to the Cranvarn, who's going to get a nice surprise, saying, "Do you remember us?" Oh, no, he lost sight of him there and didn't calculate exactly where he would be. So he's firing one in. Now, the other bad thing about this Arty is it doesn't carry a whole lot of ammunition. You only get 20 rounds in the game, but in actual fact, an M55 could only carry 10 rounds fully loaded. So in reality, it carried half the ammunition. And that Skoda did return and try to go over the railway line at that point. I wonder if he's going up the hill. Well, he definitely got hit there, right down by the railway line. Our Barask has managed to get up on top of the hill, looking down on him. Yeah, he's taking fire. 2 shots. The low rolls, 712 hit points only. But I think that Skoda felt those shots, and he might have been a bit annoyed about that, because that Barask up there could do a lot of damage. Well, the Skoda's gone, and it was the Bosch that got him in the end. Mind you, the enemy Arty, the enemy M53, M55, took out one of our tanks as well, the Skoda T56. Rounds out in the Cranvarn. Takes another hit, this time for 364. He's probably still trying to work out what the reciprocal angle is. We've only got 2 rounds left to play. Now, this Arty is actually quite heavy. It's over 40 tons in weight. In fact, according to the wiki, it's about 48 tons in weight. So it's based on a medium tank, but a heavy medium. So if you ever do get into an encounter with an enemy vehicle, despite the fact that this thing doesn't have much in the way of armor, it can ram and take out enemy vehicles with the ram. Rounds out on the Tiger. Direct hit. Now hug that wreck as fast as you can. When he decided he was just going to go elsewhere. There's only 4 enemies left in the game. The Cranvarn's surrounded, and now he's taking rounds from both directions. The other guys have decided to move north. All they've got is a Foch 155, a Ferdinand, their Arty, the M53, M55, and that Cranvarn, who's kind of trapped now, or was trapped for a moment. In fact, I think he's got the AMX M451 one way and the Barras the other. But he is a tier 10. This is a tier 10 game with tier 8 tanks. Rounds out the Bosch. Another good one. 325 from the hit. 530 from stun assist. I think that Bosch is probably going to go down now, because now they know where he is. He's going to start taking more damage. Well, he managed to throw off a couple of the shots, but not the one that came in from the side from the AMX M451. Of course, side armor of the Bosch is fairly weak. Now, we did lose 1 tank. We lost the 277. The Ferdinand's still there, but the Brask is coming in behind the Bosch, and he's got 1 round in, and there's the kill shot from the Conway, and that leaves the Ferdinand isolated. So as the last minute counts down, the Ferdinand has got this sticky situation. He's being hit from the side. And there's the kill shot on the Ferdinand. It was the Conway, and that is the end of the game. It's a victory. Here's the end of battle results, and that was an ace tanker game for CL1CKER in the M53, M55. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 9. Got a Gauze medal for doing more damage, exceeding 8 times the hit points for his own vehicle. A Confederate for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. And on top of that, he got the high caliber for the most damage in that game. And he really did keep up the average on those shots. Let's have a look at team score. Well, we can see the highest damage was 4,826 hit points to CL1CKER. Second highest damage was the Skoda T56 on the enemy team with 3,725. And the third highest damage was the enemy Arty, the enemy M53, M55. He managed to get 3,060 hit points. When it came to kills, it was actually our Barask who did the best. 4 kills to him. 2 kills went to CL1CKER. 2 kills also went to the Conway and the Cranbarn on the enemy team, or one of them, the Tiger 2 on the enemy team as well. And when it came to base XP, then it's that Barask again. Yes, 1,418 went to him. 1,195 went to CL1CKER, and they were the only 2 players who managed to get over 1,000 base in the game, and decent scores at that. And we can see that the Barask actually managed to get a Lever Slaves medal to go with his Fire for Effect and his Fighter, whilst the enemy Skoda in that game, he only got Fire Effect. In fact, those 2 didn't get anything extra. So yes, it was a good game, especially for CL1CKER. Let's have a look at detail. He fired every round he had left at the end of the game. 12 direct hits on the enemy. None of them penetrated though, but he did get 21 splash. Damage of 4,826 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. He did receive 1 hit. Yes, it was a reciprocal shot from the Cranbarn, and it was a heat round at that, and he was very lucky to survive with the amount of hit points he had at the end. 8 enemy vehicles were damaged, 2 were killed, 2,833 hit points of stun assist of 16 stuns. And that combined damage, well, that's definitely over 7,000, 7,500 damage in total, more than 7,500. If we look at the premium account, he earned 1,874 credits. So not a huge amount of credits, but it was the result more than anything that actually paid off. And he also got 5,379 experience points. And you can see the game was almost over when they killed the last enemy, which turned out to be the Ferdinand. But it was a very worthwhile game indeed. So I hope you enjoyed that replay. I actually caught the end of it as he was actually playing it out. I was watching it on my screen and I could see what happened. And yes, I thought the replay would be coming in. Didn't realize it would come in so quickly. But yes, that was amusing. I hope you enjoyed this replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.